Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's here. It's finally here. Fallout Season 2, Episode 1 did drop yesterday. However, it dropped at a time where I went to sleep. If you don't know, I work a night shift. So, I'm sleeping around that time to wake up and go to work at 10 o'clock. So I had to wait until I got back home this morning in order to watch it. And boy, oh boy, what a surprise. It's just been like, wow, it's actually here. They did a nice, long, brief recap, and then they went on to the episode. Only fair warning is that there's no Brotherhood of Steel or Maximus in this episode. It focuses mainly on Lucy the Ghoul and little brother Norm, and what's going on in Vault 33 and 32. And I guess some 31 as well. So anyways, let's start this off with the beginning. It starts off with Mr. House. You see the Mr. House from Season 1 during the board meeting. He's there smoking. And then you see him again. Yes, you see him again, but it's a different kind of person. If you don't know, during this time, during everything that was happening, inflation went up to the roof. A newspaper would cost $56, I believe. It was $56. So everything was just crazy max expensive. More expensive than it is now, but damn, we are getting there. And people's jobs were being lost because they're being replaced by robots. And everyone was angry and stuff. And then you see the original Mr. House in the corner saying, well, actually, you all voted for this with your dollar. You know, you all paid for this. You all wanted this to happen. So eventually it was going to turn to this point. What she was trying to use that thing where it's like, oh, actually, it was your fault the entire time. And that didn't work. That didn't work for me. But anyways, he had this device onto him that he put onto one of the angry people, and he was able to control them. And then when he sent it onto a higher frequency, he was able to make their head go poof and stuff. But it's funny is, I want to talk about this. This was actually talked about a YouTube video I watched actually yesterday, where people had a theory that why they changed actors during Fallout Season 1 and 2. And when I reviewed it last time, I said I kind of like the other actor better. The way he looked. He looked intimidating. He looked serious. He was a guy that you didn't want to mess with. A cold-hearted CEO. This guy looks like a very curious kind of dude who makes crazy contraptions and stuff like that. But anyways, it turns out, yes, this dude has a double. Mr. House has a double. Now, with Mr. House, a lot of people feared, because around this time before the show landed, certain videos started to pop up all around the freaking internet, especially YouTube. All of a sudden, for some reason, people were making videos saying, Mr. House is a villain, he is a bad guy. I'm like, wow, you guys are conveniently making these videos around the same time, aren't you? And even Chris Avalon and them were like, please don't tell me they're going to make Mr. House the main villain of this season. It's one of the things I've been coming to dread when it comes to enjoying this series, but yet I get my irks when I'm watching it. And one of the irks I get is we're trying to make Mr. House a villain. And other irks as well, but we'll get to those sooner. But anyways, he has a device that seems to be going to be playing a key role into what's happening. And it's very interesting how that's going to play into part towards the end of this episode. And then it ends with that, and then we get to see current events. Our duo, Lucy and the Ghoul, are in freaking Novak. That's right, they're in Novak. And you see the dinosaur, Rexy the dinosaur. And he's the town mascot. They even have Dinky the dinosaur. And they even have like a whole bunch of them somewhere in the storage. Yes, I know 15 years have passed, but the way things ended, the cons are there. the Great Khans make an appearance, and they have taken over Novak. So all the people you know that was there at Novak are pretty much they were left or they were killed by the Khans. But the thing is that the Khans themselves were originally beaten the crap out of. I mean, they were pushed back to Red Rock Cave. Well, I mean, Red Rock Cove. Canyon. I think Red Rock Canyon, yeah. And then towards the end, no matter what happened to them, they were forced to leave. But like I said, they're doing their own ending here, and it's canon. And this is one of the things that irks me when it comes to watching this series. It feels like, and people get stomped on for saying stuff like this, which is, they keep calling us New Vegas Puritans, but no, we're West Side fans. We're the fans of the West. We like the OG stories and sets and how they set things up. And what I didn't like is how wherever you go in the OG area, have you noticed no matter where you go in the OG area, it's destroyed or in shambles? The NCR, Shady Sands, now Novak. I'm sorry, I'm not hating. It's just very funny how every part of Black Isle and Obsidian's ideology and their parts to play in this universe are being just destroyed every single time. No one is flourishing. No one is prospering. Wherever they go, the NCRs and shambles, Shady Sands got blown up. And now we're in Novak, and it's being taken over by the Great Khans. It's like no matter where you go, it's going to be in shambles. People say, well, people just revert back to how things are. Well, that's because that's just how the writing is when it comes to Bethesda. Nothing can progress in Bethesda's writing. Things must fall back, except for it's their east side where the Capital Wasteland is progressing, where the Commonwealth is progressing. But the west side can't progress for some reason. I wonder why. I'm sorry, dude. I'm enjoying this show, but even I can ignore that it seems like everywhere you go in this show, anything that was established by the OGs are being, I don't know, stomped on every single time. It's just something I just can't ignore. You're seeing it right in front of your face. And when you do tell someone about this, it's like, well, they come up with some ridiculous reasoning to defend the writing for it every single time. It's like, what else am I going to see that's not prospering? That was prospering, and now it's just in shambles. Because that's just all I'm expecting now. Anything that you see from New Vegas, anything that you pass by, it's going to be in shambles and just not working out. Because, God forbid, we have progression after the apocalypse, 200 years after the apocalypse. Well, at least on the west side. I don't know. Like I said, I'm enjoying this show, but man, there are times and scenes that I look at and think about that kind of irks me. And these are one of these scenes. So anyways, this is the Lucy and the Ghoul teaming up and trying to set things, set up the Khans to rob them of their stuff. Now, Lucy doesn't want to kill them without at least giving them a chance, but that's not how the Ghoul rolls. The Ghoul been through everything. He's seen everything. So it seems like throughout this season, Lucy and the Ghoul will be having their arguments of right and wrong and what it means to survive. But you don't have to take away who you are in order to survive every single time. You don't have to be this cool, ruthless, to the extreme outlaw, bad boy, cowboy in order to get what you want. You can be reasonable from time to time. You don't always have to go out and be like, oh, I see this person, I need the answers, I need to blow them off. And this is what it comes when it comes to antagonists and protagonists. You have a protagonist who's bright and naive but have a true belief. Then you have an antagonist who was like the protagonist, but they took a wrong turn and they see things a different way. So now their conflicts are colliding and stuff like that. We've seen this happen tons of times in storytelling, and it's a very interesting way. Like, I've been where you've been, and it's not good. Well, you may have been where I've been, but it doesn't mean you'll walk down the same path I have. It's that kind of thing. So anyways, they're conflicting, arguing, and they're looking for Lucy's dad and what they will do with him when they find him. Bring him to justice or kill him. So anyways, we have Cooper Howard in his pass where you see him running back to pick up his daughter, and he's driving his thing about going to Vegas. And then he starts seeing everyone panicking, just panicking, going around just because you hear the sirens. And they were doing a test alarm every single time around a certain time for people to do what they do, but people were panicking too much about it because they didn't know if that was their time. Boy, did these corporations have these people manipulated so badly. And of course, before you say, well, this is unrealistic, this could never be us, we will never easily fall for government manipulation. Well, look at COVID. You're not as smart as you think you are. No. So he's looking at himself on a billboard saying, protect the ones you love, which is very ironic coming from him on that billboard. It's a beautiful irony in this scene. A good scene. I love it. And then we have the thing with Norm. Norm did not go into cryosleep like we thought he would. Instead, he's been resisting, having Bud just talking his ear out, trying to convince him to rather kill himself, or he kills him, or he goes into the cryosleep. And Reclamation Day won't happen until everyone on the surface is dead, so they can have the world their way. That's the entire plan, but can it really work? Anyway, how longer do you have to wait for everyone on the surface to wipe out, unless you find a way to wipe everyone out? So, Norm is fighting against it until he decides, you know what, I'm gonna go against your plan. I'm gonna choose chaos. And when he chose chaos, he decided to waking up all the management system in Vault 31. Oh, crazy idea. I did not see that coming. That was good smarts on Norm. I enjoyed that. And then we go to a very interesting Easter egg. They go to Vault 24. Vault 24 was supposed to be in Fallout New Vegas, but it was cut. But you can get it into the control panel files. Well, system control, command control, I forgot what it's called. But you can activate the suit from it anyways. And it was Vault 24. We didn't know what Vault 24 was for, but the show gave us one. In Vault 24, I guess they were brainwashing people, hypnotizing them. They'll put the device in their head that Mitch House was using, and it was causing them to be controlled in different kinds of ways, from believing in communist propaganda to even saying sugar bombs. Heck, Lucy's father, Hank, left her a message saying, go home, my sugar bomb. And then his head explodes because, the high frequency and stuff. That's how that works, Crazy stuff, right? So, yeah, Lucy's dad is a twisted, sick individual. So, speaking of Lucy's dad, we finally get to see him. He is the indie scene, and he makes it to whatever headquarters he's at. We don't know what it is. We don't know if it's still Vault 24 and he just left, or that's some other vault. We don't know where he's at. I don't know. Everyone wants to know, but there's no number to be seen. But he is there. He dresses up into a business suit, and people believe that's the pimp boy. I don't think that's the pimp boy. I don't think it is. It's a nice golden one, but it could be. The pimp boy. Yes, PIMP. You get that from Mick and Ralph by doing a quest. The pimp boy could be based off of the version that Hank is wearing, and they just duped it out and everything. That could be it. Just saying, it's a possibility. And I do see that's happening. So he is looking at the chips, seeing how they're using shrinkage to make the chips smaller, so it'll be more convenient to put on people. And now it seems he's trying to get in hold of somebody. Hank's true ambition this entire time is to be with this individual who he believes have survived the bombs. And he's trying to get his promotion by using this device to get what he wants out of it. Some believe it could be Stanislaus Braun, but they're using the shrinkage thing, so it can't be Stanislaus Braun. Of course, it has to be Mr. House. It would be cool if it was Stanislaus Braun, to bring in the character that's created to the light. That would be very interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. But Hank is desperate to please this individual, which we believe is Mr. House, or Stan, to get what he wants. So he's willing to do whatever it takes to do it by proving him wrong. So, yeah, Hank truly is an ambitious, scary kind of guy. Nuts as well. But anyways, I enjoyed this. I'm glad it's back, dude. And it's only been a year. Think about it. It's only been a year. It's only been it's been a year. A little over a year, I guess. Because it didn't come out in the spring, it came out in the winter. But still, the fact that it only took a year to get season 2 out is crazy, man. It's just nuts. Because other shows, it'll take years sometimes to get another season and stuff like that. And sometimes you're kind of displeased. Like, we wait years for this, but this came out within a year, and it looks fresh, it looks nice, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah. We'll see what it is. It's opening things out. People were hoping to see a little bit more of Novak, but we gotta hear Big Iron, so that's good. Question is, what other songs from New Vegas are we going to hear throughout the season? We have to hear Johnny Guitar. We need to hear Johnny Guitar. We need to hear a Volt, a Pip Boy that just goes off, and it just stays on Johnny Guitar, and you can't turn it off no matter what. that needs to be a scene. So anyways, all around, I still enjoy it, but yet again, I still have my gripes with the show itself, when I just feel like it's just stomping on the OG content a little too much, and it makes you paranoid, like maybe Todd and them do have a gripe against the OG Fallout and stuff like that, because he wants that praise so badly. But we'll see what happens. But anyways, I enjoy it. Can't wait for next week. And I'm glad it's dropping weekly, because all at once was a little too much for me. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This is the Madcrownxox, all anime. Signing out.